Today Show Health, sponsored by Boots.
Boots Ireland have partnered with the Irish Cancer Society since 2012, and they have been the main sponsors of Daffodil Day for the last 2 years. So ahead of Daffodil Day next week, we're joined by Boots Pharmacist Donal and Mark Mellett from the Irish Cancer Society, who are here to talk us through their partnership and also some of the services that they offer to people who need support while going through treatment. Guys, you're very, very welcome to this. Of course, it is the biggest fundraising day for you guys, isn't it, Mark, for the Irish Cancer Society, Daffodil Day?
Yes, Daffodil Day. It's in the 22nd of March this year, Friday week. It's a very important day. We've got thousands of volunteers all over the country coming out to join us and support and help. Provides free services. We're seeing that cancer is increasing year on year, and we're seeing more demand for our services, and that's why Daffodil Day is really important. So we're reaching out. We've got a need for volunteers in Dublin and Cork particularly, but throughout the country, and they're an amazing group of people who come and help us to provide the services like our nurse line and our volunteer driver service, which is crucially important to make sure that people don't go through a cancer journey alone.
And I suppose that's the reality, is when you are going through chemotherapy or, as you said, a cancer journey, whatever treatment you're having, it's the ancillary maybe services of getting to the hospital, the trauma that will actually bring on a patient if they can't get taxis or that type of thing. So Daffodil Day funds a lot of these ancillary services.
Yes, the Daffodil Day is funding, really, like today, people will be coming home from their chemotherapy treatment, and without that service, they wouldn't be able to get to their home or get back from their treatment, and that funding comes from Daffodil Day and comes from the wonderful support that we get throughout the year from all our supporters, and it's crucial really to make sure that we can deliver these services. For sadly, you know, the numbers that are getting cancer are increasing each year, and the statistics are very frightening in the sense that every 3 minutes someone's getting a cancer diagnosis, but the group of people...
Every 3 minutes?
Every 3 minutes.
My goodness.
Yeah. So,
and different types of cancers. I know we've spoken about various types of cancers on this show. We do all the time, and you see an increase in maybe skin cancers, that type of cancer as well, that people might have thought was a lesser worrying cancer, but it's not.
All cancer is serious, and that's where we want to make sure that people get the support they need, and that's where there's a wonderful community of people who are there. We have our nurses on the nurse line who are there, and it's 1800, 200, 700, and people can ring that number and get the support they need, because a lot of time we find when people hear those words, "you have cancer," not really much else goes in, as you can understand. It's only when they get home they actually have questions, and that's where services like our nurse line are so important and can give people that support they need.
And also, I suppose, the support, but clarification a lot as well when they're really, really worried, in the sense of often people hear the word cancer, as you said, and they can't take anything else. I think it's just the devastation of that alone. They can't look beyond it.
Yes, and we find too that people at different times, like the services within the hospitals are fantastic and the treatments are there. We know they're overrun, but it's when people get home or when family members might even want to know how they can help the person that they're going through the cancer journey with. And a lot of times some people won't want to worry people who are with them and looking after them with their concerns about cancers and the niggles. And then also what we find is when people have finished their treatment, which is fantastic, and they get home, if the niggle is there and they're worried that it's going to come back, they want to know who they can call, and that's where things like our nurse line and then there's
they
the
can pick up
Daffodil centres.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Now, Donal, tell us about the partnership between Boots and the Irish Cancer Society.
Well, like you've said already, Mara, Boots are the main sponsors again this year of Daffodil Day, which is on Friday of next week, and already we're selling the daffodil pins in store.
Yeah, so these are all in store, and of course they'll be on the street with the sellers and everything like that, but of course they're in store, you can pick them up there. And other pieces as well for Daffodil Day, so that's your main push, is it?
Well, we'll say, I suppose we also have other connections with the Irish Cancer Society in that we have 2 roles in store to support cancer patients. So we have the Boots Irish Cancer Society Information Pharmacist, and then we have a non-medical role, it's the Boots Cancer Beauty Advisor. And in addition, I suppose Boots have raised nearly €1.5 million for the night nurse service. So, for example, my friend Lauren is running a coffee morning this Saturday in Killarney, and next month my good friend Timmy will be organising a spin-a-thon, which I hate Matt because he beats me every year, and then I have to listen to
I should be hard to beat you, Mr. Fit.
I wouldn't say that, no, not as fit as this man from Beaufort, no, but it's all for a great cause,
different things, yeah. But
exactly.
The beauty advisor, and this is really important as well, because an awful lot of women going through, say, breast cancer will lose their hair, and, a beauty advisor can help them in the sense of products, but everything around that, because I suppose how you look, especially as a woman, and I know, of course, it affects men as well, but, that type...
It affects how you feel, Mara.
Yeah, how you feel.
Let's say like that. So they've been trained in, tips to manage the visible side effects of treatment. It'd be a non-medical role, but for example, recreating brows,
I was just going to say that, brows, lashes,
nails,
that type of thing. Yeah.
you know, skin. So
the beauty consultants are in store to help there.
Oh, yeah, you can go on boots.ie. It's a free service there. The session might last up to 45 minutes. So it's so important in you, like you said.
Do you feel, Mark, that more and more people are availing of services in the aftermath after going through treatment, and when they're in remission? Do you think that people keep coming back and they need that support ongoing, a couple of years down the line even?
Yes, we hear from people and they tell us that after they come out of the treatment, there's a bit of a safety net when you're in getting treatment regularly, but when you get that fantastic diagnosis, or get that fantastic note from the consultant to say that your cancer treatment has been contained and that you're able to, won't need to see the consultant again for another 6 months. They go home, but they're actually quite concerned when as I say, something happens to them, and they want to get the reassurance that it's not coming back. So people do look to get advice and information, and having the cancer information pharmacists in booths, or being able to go to our Daffodil centres or counselling sessions that we fund in cancer support groups throughout the country.
We should say that counselling sessions, all those things are very important as well, aren't they, in the aftermath? And all these services are free, and we should say that, and that's the most important part, aren't they? They're all complimentary.
Yes, and with everything is all the services that we give, be our volunteer drivers or everything is free for cancer patients. We want to, and that's where Daffodil Day makes a huge difference, with people getting in and supporting us, and the volunteers throughout the country getting around and actually bringing people together and having a fantastic social occasion, and making sure that they can, with us together, make sure that no one goes through that cancer journey alone. And get the
now, if there are people watching who are worried about cancer, they should contact the HSE first, and their doctor, of course.
We always say the best port of call, if you've got any concern about cancer, is to go to your doctor. Any niggle, and that's what we're trying to encourage people, is to take that seriously and actually go and see if there's any symptoms or anything. We had one woman who phoned into our nurse line who had a lump in her breast, and had previously had a lump, and it was thankfully wasn't malignant, but she was wondering, should she go again? And of course she should go again. So always the first port of call is to go and talk to your doctor, and it doesn't matter what your concern is, or it doesn't matter if you feel it's not something. If you've got a sign or symptom of cancer, you should go and speak to your doctor, and that's what the advice we would always give to people.
Of course, and the same, Donal, when people come into you and the pharmacist, speaking of course to the booths pharmacists around the country, you will always refer them on to their GP.
Well, it is, because the diagnosis of cancer and the treatment, they are complex. So the doctors and the specialists, they are the experts, and the HSE have the National Cancer Control Programme. So, but like, a person can come into any Boots pharmacy, and if they want basic information, Mara, we can discuss different things with them there. Exactly, like it could be, we'll say, even signposting people over to cancer.ie or hse.ie, or giving them basic information on screening, treatment, side effects. That's what you're talking about, basically, in the servicing. So.
And I suppose people sometimes, as you said there, Mark, they may not want to face something. They may kind of push it to one side and say, oh, maybe it's nothing. But it is so important that if you are worried, and I think we all know deep down if that worry is there, to actually not just sit and wait, to take action. Daffodil Day, of course, next week, you're selling a lot of lovely things as well, and everything can support. You can even have a pair of Daffodil Day socks.
I know.
These could look great now on Donal, I think, because he likes his posh socks. But there are so many people. Mark, you're wearing the lovely socks there, I can see already. You're modelling them very well, fair play to you, with the black shoes. And they're little teddy bears and everything. So you know what? Every euro you spend, the reality is it's all going to go to great services for people after cancer or going through care, and that support they need ongoing, and of course all free of charge, which is really important. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Donal, of course, and Mark. Now, if you at home you want more information on anything we discussed today, you can pop onto boots.ie/cancer cancer-support, and the hse.ie, of course, which has been on screen as well.
Today's Show Health, sponsored by Boots.